anybody filters in here while we're getting set up.
Oh, did you go live?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Scroll through this really quick while we wait. I'll just tell you if I see it. That actually might be it. Hold on. Click the comments on that second one.
This?
Yeah, click this comments really quick. What's up, guys? If you're filing in here, Kyle's grabbing a water. We're going live. We're just trying to find one last thing we want to talk about. Just scroll down into the comment section super quick. Keep going. No, it wasn't like the main comment, but wait, yeah. Go. Yeah. I don't know. I don't want to like miss. I don't want to do it on the wrong article, but like there was a top post on, because we didn't talk about last time when there was that top post that made news or whatever that was like blatantly false, like fake news.
No, I didn't hear
Remember?
about that.
And then something on Science got like really, really high, and somebody was like, "What the fuck are the mods doing? Like, this is just such a poor, like, it's not peer reviewed, poorly fucking art. It's just a bad article, bad study, blah blah blah." But you remember that it was the article on World News or News that was like, they're seeing an uptick in children with like symptoms or whatever, or it was like an uptick in children, or the children or the hospitals are filled with children, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
No, I didn't see
And
that.
it was like
I don't know what you're talking about.
It's the one you pinned and you said
I
like
pinned it. This was like weeks ago.
This is Reddit now?
Yeah, and but what happened? The lady that they were quoting was a doctor, but she was like an older doctor, and so when she said like kids, she meant like younger people,
right?
But like they quoted her as saying like literal children.
Okay.
And so it got like misconstrued and like blown out of proportion, blah blah blah.
Okay.
And there was a bunch of people in there like, I'm a pediatrician, like this is just not the
just
case.
not true.
Yeah. They're like this only seeks to downplay what is actually the severity of the disease, like, you know, whatever.
Okay.
But and then there was something in Science that kind of had the same thing going on, where it was like, where are the mods on this one, blah blah blah. But okay, we can get started. What's up, everybody?
Where are we getting started?
I want to start with GameStop, or I want to start with the stock market generally speaking.
Let's
You
do
want
it.
to start with this guy that you had?
No,
here?
What was the very first one? Was
This?
also the very far left.
No, that's something else.
Oh, okay.
This is the Trump stuff.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah. I mean, we can start here. So,
I can just have this GIF running while you explain. This is your vein. You know, you're the
Robinhood CEO when responding to Chris Cuomo on why he shut down trading on GameStop and AMC. So, are either of you in tune with what's been going on? / I'm going to tell the audience anyways if you say no, but
Yes.
Yeah, but
For the most part.
okay. So, essentially what's happened is GameStop and now AMC allegedly are in the middle of what's called a short squeeze. And a short squeeze is a term that they use in the stock market that essentially is like, so what it means to go short on a stock in like layman's terms is basically you borrow stock, right, as a stockbroker or whoever, you borrow stock and then you sell that stock at whatever price you borrow it at,
Right.
with the anticipation of returning that stock when you can like buying it back later, weeks, months, whatever later, and that it would be cheaper than when you borrowed it. And then the money you make in between your borrow is your profit, right? So if I borrow something from you for $20 and then I sell it and then I buy a new one and it's $11 and I give you the $11 one, but it's the same thing I had originally, I just made $9, right?
Okay.
That's the principle of shorting a stock.
Right.
So that conceptually, that's what people have been doing to GameStop. So they've been shorting GameStop.
Isn't that like a good thing to do?
That it's not a good thing inherently. It's a practice in the stock market.
It's a good thing to make money though, right? Like that's what I'm saying. Like if you're
yeah,
trying to
it's a gamble though. You're saying I think this stock is going to be cheaper than it is right now in a month, 3 months, 6 months, a week, whatever. You're just gambling.
Right.
But obviously with stocks, you're saying like the reason they did GameStop was because the prediction was like they're going to be the next Blockbuster. Right, we've talked about this endlessly on the podcast. If you're listening right now, you've probably listened to some previous ones with like hard copy media compared to like just digital downloads, blah blah blah, right? And so a bunch of people took a bunch of shorts. Well, specifically Marvin Capital, who's a big hedge fund, but there was other hedge funds that did as well. They went short on GameStop, and like in September of last year, it kind of got around like, hey, people are shorting GameStop, but GameStop still is like well run at the upper level. They're very liquid, they're very solvent, and they like aren't scared to like shut down stores that aren't making money. Right. So like
we've talked about that.
Yeah. So basically, like, people were like, they're wrong. The stock isn't gonna go down. Buy GameStop. And so people bought up a bunch of the stock, and by people I mean like retail investors. So basically people like me or you or whoever, right? Not the big bigs, but like people who just use their money to buy stocks as an investment instead of putting the money into a savings account or 401k or whatever, right? So all these stocks get bought up, and it runs months, September all the way till end of January. And finally the shorts, the date on the shorts is like the next month. It's usually Fridays, but it can be like any day is when the short is due. So that means that those guys that said, I'm going to borrow GameStop at, I think it was like $16, right? With the assumption that it's going to be $9.
Yeah.
Now I have to buy the stock. I have to buy the stock at whatever price it is at now.
Oh, shit.
Well, everybody bought the stock, and then they went to buy it, and there wasn't any stock. So that the price just went up, and that's the short squeeze. So they're squeezing the stock price up because there's people who have no choice but to buy it at whatever price it's available at, right? So that's what's happened. Now, what's happened with the narrative is very different than what's actually happened, right? Because what the narrative has kind of been written as like these people have memed the stock or like turned the stock into like an LOL, that essentially they're doing this to like stick it to the big guys, right, or whatever. That wasn't what happened. They were doing this because they said, we think that, like, they think the stock's going to be short. We think it's not. We think the stock can go long. So it was basically a battle of two people, and they were right. The retail investors were right, and the hedge fund was wrong. So now they're just hemorrhaging money, right?
Yeah.
And so that's how this narrative's kind of gotten spun. Well, what happened was the stock touched like 400 a share. I think it was was it Thursday, because it wasn't Friday, because Friday was when all that shit expires. But the stock, it happened on Thursday, and this is when Robinhood. So Robinhood, for those that don't know, if anybody's listening, is like the biggest retail investment app. You can buy it's like instant deposits. You can buy like, partial stocks, and it's very user friendly, intuitive. It's easy to learn on, all that shit, right? They halted trading only on their app, only buying like a handful of stocks, including these two, and then like shit went haywire.
Now, why would they have done that? Like,
that's a great question.
Like, why do you think that?
So let's play this 1 minute clip really quick for what because this is what he's asking, and then his answer is kind of like, right?
But that's the thing, is that the trust is in question, because it seems like the only people who are getting hurt were the big shots, and that if they were benefiting from this, your small investors now believe that you wouldn't have shut down the game. And just one thing without getting in the weeds here. You don't control the listing venue for GameStop. Now, I used to work in finance, so I know this stuff, but the audience doesn't need to. The New York Stock Exchange does. So if anybody was going to control the listing and shut it down, it should have been them, but it wasn't. It was you. And the reason that they do it is very limited. They do it because they think there's evidence of fraud, or they think that there needs to be a material disclosure by the company that hasn't been made. And that's done to protect the investor. You check none of those boxes here because you don't control the venue. You didn't know about any information that GameStop or any of these other stocks needed to put out. You don't have any reason to believe there's fraud that you've articulated. And you're certainly not protecting these people who've been living the dream of making money, especially at the expense of the big guys. So why should people believe you did this for the right reasons?
Well, we have no choice. We have to comply with all financial requirements.
The SEC hasn't said you had to do this.
Well, lots of brokers.
Okay.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So they kind of cut the video. It's a 9-minute video. If you have the time, we're not going to listen to the whole 10 minutes on the podcast, but like, if you have the time, you should go listen to the whole thing, right? But essentially, this is how it works, right? So just people don't really understand the concept sometimes of stocks, and I'm not trying to like pretend I'm smart. I'm just gonna, because I'm a dummy too. But like, my dumbed down explanation, or at least my understanding of how it works, is I want to buy stock, right? I can't buy stock from. You don't buy GameStop stock from stock, or GameStop stock from GameStop, right? You go through a stockbroker, and so these apps, right? Fidelity and fucking Ameritrade and Webull and Robinhood, all these fucking apps. You go in there and you order stock, right? Well, technically, you're not ordering the stock either. Robinhood isn't giving you the stock. Robinhood is acting as the person that's buying the stock from another broker.
Okay.
Right? So they're going. It's like it's another hand that is going through to get to this, the New York Stock Exchange or whatever, that would actually say like, here's the stock. So it's essentially you're going like, hey, I want to buy this stock, and they go, okay, well the stock is valued at this much, so just give us this much, and then depending on how it fluctuates, we'll just give you. It's like the cash equivalent of the stock. That's how it works. And then Robinhood, actually buys that stock from a broker or whatever, or they buy it from someone who buys it from. It's like it gets very, very lucrative, right?
No, it makes sense.
So Robinhood's biggest financial backer is the Citadel, and the Citadel is also one of the biggest financial backers for Marvin Capital.
Oh.
And so the underlying theory is that Marvin Capital got fucked because they're the ones who shorted GameStop.
Yeah, they're like, yo, shut it down. Shut it down.
And the Citadel told Robinhood, shut this down or we're going to pull funding.
Yeah.
And Robinhood isn't liquid enough by themselves to be able to handle especially because what happened is the uptake was insane, right? The volume went through the roof. So they had a shitload of people trying to buy stock, and they didn't have the money. They didn't have the cash equivalency to give those people the money that they were asking for.
Right.
Right? So then Robinhood is like, fuck, they're fucked. They have nowhere to go. But they're trying to fit, whatever the fuck they're trying to do. They don't.
Yeah.
Who knows if they're trying to do the right thing and they're fucked, or they don't give a fuck. I mean, either way.
It sure doesn't seem like they're trying to do the right thing.
Right.
No, it seems like they're just trying to save their ass.
Yeah, they're trying to save
last
their
second.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. It's hard to tell if they're trying to save their ass or if they just really don't give a fuck about and they're trying to save money. But anyways, basically what happened is they halted trading, shit got all fucked up, and now people are really, really fucking mad. And it seems like it hasn't exactly flatlined the squeeze, because that's not how it works, but like the momentum was definitely halted, which like is a big fucking deal. And there's gonna be investigations into this. And what's super interesting is Robinhood is supposed to go public, so they're supposed to have their own IPO, which means like people could buy Robinhood stock, and like now they're saying like they're fucked, there's no chance. So my little tidbit, I posted this on Twitter, and I bought in. So like I said, this has been ongoing. So I actually bought GameStop stock in November 30th, and I sold it in December at a loss, because I thought that it was going to happen after the earnings in the third quarter, and it didn't. It ended up the third quarter earnings. I thought it was going to happen. It ended up happening after the fourth quarter earnings, and so I still made money on it because I got back in, so I made, but not anywhere near as much as I would have. Yeah, it's crazy. So yeah, this is okay. So this is a good explanation. Click.
How does it feel to have blown it?
Click this.
I had this up a little bit.
Expecting to make an easy buck out of the video games retailers decline. Redditors on Wall Street Bets made a whole meme culture. See, this is the thing. Like, it wasn't a meme culture, and that's that.
It was though.
It wasn't though, because the narrative.
It wasn't at first.
It wasn't ever intended to be a meme culture. People were just saying like, buy the stock, sit on it, and then when the stock prices don't tank.
No, like
people will get
before
fucked.
Wall Street Bets wasn't a meme. It was like, it was a joke. Like, it was a bunch of people like being reckless and like being memey. Like, it was a joke.
That I wholeheartly disagree with that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, from what I've looked into it, and I haven't looked into much, but I feel like that's just not the case.
Yeah,
I've been subbed to those motherfuckers for a long time reading the posts.
But like the whole subreddit is technically like a meme.
Yeah.
But like there is actually valuable information like intertwined with the people calling each other autists and the R word.
But like
people did due diligence and bought this stock with the intention of making money long term.
This one, yes.
Yes.
Like
GameStop specifically, yes.
Yeah.
On a subreddit that is notoriously known for being like a meme.
All right, now we're on the same page.
Yeah. But like they were being dead serious. Like, buy the stock, hold it, you will make money on this stock.
They were serious.
Yeah. And so they lost a bunch of money. Yeah. So I was just like, I was curious. I don't know if I don't have the stream open, but like, I don't know if there's any comments in the chat, but I just thought it was it was just such a. I've been tweeting on it like kind of on a Twitter rampage about it because it just so obviously, it just brought to light so quickly. Like no matter, even if you fucking win, you still end up being the loser because like they'll figure out a way to game the system on your ass again.
How so?
Because like
how they're trying to say it's just a meme and like all this shit.
Yeah, the narrative is one thing, but just like the fact that Robinhood and Webull, like which are two of the biggest retail investment apps, shut down spending or shut down. You could only sell the stock, which is also shady as fuck.
Yeah.
Because when the SEC gets involved and halts trading, you can't buy or sell it.
Mm-hmm.
So they just took on the app. They said you can only sell the stock, which instantly people panic, right? So when you only see one button, what do? You click it.
You just sell it.
So a bunch of people, yeah, and there's other crazy shit. Like there's algorithm, there's ways that these guys know that they can, and it's usually used on a smaller basis, right, where they can manipulate the algorithm. So they can sell. So like let's say you've got hedge fund A and hedge fund B, and hedge fund A has a bunch of shorts on a stock, right?
Right.
What they can do is because when you're short, right? So let's say if you're at a $15 stock price and you want to go as low as you can. You might, let's say the stock dips to like $13. You might buy up a bunch of that stock, right, at 13, and then you go, okay, right now at least I'll make $2 profit on every stock and these guys, hold millions of stocks, so that's a shitload of money. So you go, okay, now at least I've made my money. What I can do though, I can take these stocks this bulk stockpile that I have and sell it to a hedge fund B, and then they buy it. But what the algorithm picks up on is, wow, somebody just sold 1 million, 2 million, 5 million stocks. And then the algorithm goes, that means the price is, people are selling off, the price is lower, which dips the price, which triggers because everything runs on an algorithm these days. Like even the good retail investors, they have an algorithm that they use that they go, yeah, I like that. No, I don't like that. So the algorithm then goes, oh shit, price is dipping, which triggers other algorithm buyers that their shit dips too. And then it causes a sell off. Right, so they were doing stuff like that, especially on the Thursday when they had shut off buying, where they were like, this is the perfect time. Sell what we have, right? Dump that price, and we'll rebuy in at the lowest point that it gets to. So, like, just a bunch of shady shit. And it's just crazy to me because, like, it just shows that the stock market is everybody, in a capitalist society, everybody's supposed to have equal opportunity to the stock market. But, like, this just shows you that it's not actually that, right? This is just plain bold-face. That's a lie. It's not true. So I don't know. That was my little 2 cents on this. It's interesting. I'm excited to see where it goes.
I mean, it makes sense.
It's just another example of the rich fucking everybody else over. I mean, this is something that I bitch about week after week after week, and then I see like clip after clip of these billionaires being like, "Oh, I'm going to lose money."
Yeah. But they're the only ones. I know people who got in on this. At like 250, 300, $350 a share, thinking that this was going to keep, like, looking at the trajectory and going, like, this is going to keep going, who have lost, tons of money.
What?
Only because of what happened on Thursday.
Really?
Like, only because of what happened on Thursday. This thing this was trending. Let's just put it this way. So, there were long call options on Robinhood at open on Thursday. So every morning they update the fucking call options and like they go higher, right? So that a call is the opposite. Long call is the opposite of what we were talking about with the short. It's the exact opposite. So you would sell stock with the assumption that that stock is going to go up. It's like the opposite, to not get too much into the weeds on it. So the call options went all the way up to like $800. So, if that, and then it was like 5 minutes, 5 minutes into, well, when I told you to buy, you still would have made money at this point, because when I think that was we were at like $200.
Yeah.
So, but no, like they were saying, $800. I heard $1,000 wouldn't have been unreasonable. $2,000. I mean, it's still, and to be frank, it still is very reasonable that it could go that high, because the short's not over. These guys have no choice but to buy.
Yeah.
These stocks.
So how long can this go on?
It depends. I don't know personally, but from what I've seen, like it's not over. It's like these guys are just trying to wait till like the last minute and they're gonna buy, like they know they're fucked and they're just willing to like risk how fucked are we, and they're gonna try to manipulate the system down to get that stock as low as they can. But if people keep holding, they're fucked anyways.
The only thing I know, Kyle, is that there was definitely no energy blaster in that smoothie. I'm asleep. I'm falling asleep.
Was there any comments? I don't have the Twitch. I don't have Twitch open.
All I have to say to
Somebody
wrap
said
this
yo to
up.
Kyle.
Oh, yo, who is it?
People's champ.
I'm not sure offhand, but what up? How's it going? We're talking about some fat stoinks here. Long story short, all I have to say about this is that it just seems like even when like the little guy is trying to just make some money out here, like I hate how you said, Gears, they're just trying to like spin the narrative. So it's I don't know, it just seems like disingenuous. It's like, all right, regardless of how these people are trying to make some cash, like they're trying to make some cash. Like I personally like was just sleeping. Like I'd even like, if I would have known about it prior, then like would I bought some GameStop stocks? Sure. But like I was just sleeping on everything. Like it is what it is.
Yeah.
But like I was saying, at the end of the day, I feel like to just try to say that, you know, it's all just like meme culture, like people on Reddit, oh, just buying it for a meme, and like they're making all these you know, multi-millionaires / billionaires lose money.
Yeah.
Like, so what? Like
it didn't start as a way to like fuck Wall Street or fuck the hedge funds
exactly.
or whatever.
That's
but
what I mean.
And that's what's great too, is like it quickly turned into that.
Well, because
when
I
the
feel like
narrative, they were like, oh, like this was about us making money, but now that's what everybody's saying. They're like, I'll hold it. This stock goes to $2
Well, that's what I mean. It's like almost like the narrative, them trying to spin that narrative to make the people look bad, almost fuck them worse.
Right.
Because then the people were like, oh, wait a minute. Like, I didn't even think of that. Here, hold on.
So we'll see.
Let me see how bad I can really do you. Like,
we'll see where the rest of the week goes. I'm curious to see. February is going to be an interesting month. But yeah, we can kind of leave it here. So this was Duncan Trussell. He's the creator and lead voice for Midnight Gospel. He's kind of like just like a goofball internet personality. But the Reddit GameStop stock market squeeze is a refreshing blast of positive novelty. If the lizards don't figure out how to stop us, this will evolve into a new kind of decentralized global democracy where we use the stock market to control politicians controlled by corps.
Wait, so who exactly is the lizards?
Like, he's just using that term as like, you know, CEOs, politicians, like
there's a lot of lizards and fish lore.
Ultra wealthy, all that kind of stuff. And centralized political systems are going to become vestigial cultural organs, and the political class as we know it will start looking like current monarchies. It's not that politicians are inherently evil, it's just that they aren't nimble enough to legislate global consciousness. So I tweeted something out too, or I quote tweeted something, and it was kind of about this, and it's like the whole concept of communism, right, at its core is like central planning, right? So like a select group of people, you're gonna have to scroll down a little bit more because I tweet kind of a bit. Yeah, this guy too. This is the type of thing. Go back to that. Play that for the narrative. This is the type of thing that they're putting on.
Be prepared to lose 80 to 90% of it, and if it's still worth it, then have at it. But the biggest loss of capital here will be the human capital of young men who are sitting and staring at their phone and watching the price of Bitcoin or the price of AMC. And ask yourself, would you be better off taking that 1, 2, or 3 hours a day and working out, trying to form relationships with mentors, with romantic relationships, with people at work, getting great at something so you can be the person on the other side of the trade? The greatest loss in capital here is from young men who are more prone to gambling addiction, who don't understand the markets. I think we are setting ourselves up similar to how there's a ton of young women out there who became very depressed by sitting in their rooms looking at Instagram. Self-cutting and self-harm skyrocket.
What are we watching
I think you are going to
exactly?
see an explosion in young male depression, and I think a lot of it is going to be reverse engineered to apps that convince you you're part of a movement or physically addict you to your phone.
Yeah.
So
I can't even.
Basically, he's just mad because he's losing money right now.
This is the type of
Yeah.
shit. Like this
He's
is the
big
type of
mad.
shit that you're gonna
Oh
fucking.
my, he's big mad.
He big man.
Yo, what's up to any of my friends in the chat? How's everybody doing? Thanks for tuning in. Just getting started here.
Go
Was
back,
there
keep
more?
going. Yeah, that wasn't the one I was talking
Oh.
about. Just scroll. I'll tell you when you get to it. Keep going.
He was big,
Those
man.
were good tweets too, but. Oh yeah, I roasted Ben Shapiro a little bit. Fuck that guy.
What? Why? I thought you
He's a
liked
fuck.
him. You don't like him?
You tweet too much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why do you tweet so much? Who do you
tweet a lot.
Who do you tweet to?
No
Your
one.
10 followers or?
I have like 500 followers.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
That's pretty cool.
I
I deleted my Twitter.
don't know
so-
how many people actually read them, but I do have like 500 followers. But yeah, it's just interesting. It's like that. It's a topic of conversation, so I kind of wanted to get my 2 cents in on it and kind of go from there. But we can
Where do
move
we
on
want
to
to
the
go
next topic.
to?
Yeah, what are we talking
You
What are
guys
we
pick,
thinking?
because I just talked a lot.
Pull up
so
one
I'll
of
let you
mine.
guys-
Yo, we could talk about that actually.
This?
Yo, you know what? Yeah, I really want to talk about this.
Well, why don't we wait? Because this is a Biden thing, right?
No,
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Acting FCC chair Jessica Rosen. I mean, this
nothing to do with Biden.
is is this not a Biden like
Appointee.
appointee?
No, well, I mean, no, I don't think so. I think she just kind of slid in because what's his name got canned.
Ajit Pai?
Yeah, that
Yeah,
fool.
but that's what I'm saying. I mean, you don't just slide in,
I mean,
right?
she might have just slid in.
I mean,
like a
somebody has
snake.
to appoint. Even the acting chair is appointed, I think.
She's a lizard. Like, I don't
Well, I'm
know.
just saying it might make the most sense if we're going to do
Appointed.
top. Yeah.
President Joe Biden
There
has
you go.
appointed.
Has
All I had to
appointed,
do was click
Alright,
on
that's
that
fine.
So why don't
motherfucking
if
article.
if we're gonna talk about
Whatever.
her, why
We
don't
can
we
talk about Biden now.
why don't we
Fuck.
lead with the what's Biden's done since he's been in office?
All right, let's go into it a little bit then.
All right.
All right.
You can read these because
All right, I'll read some. What do we want to go? Just pick some numbers here. take a
just
quick
like
skim.
really quick.
All right,
read
so
them.
so
join,
number one, rejoin the World Health Organization.
Mhm.
Fauci, he's going to be the head of the U.S. delegation.
How
Let's
about
see.
that?
Number two, ended the previous administrator's travel restrictions on several Muslim majority countries.
got rid of the Muslim ban. Okay.
That's not a bad thing. Let's see.
1,000 new administration
Yeah.
appointees
Via,
called for the
via Zoom.
cancel the permits.
What
of
do we
the
think about
Keystone
that?
Pipeline.
Cancel permits for the Keystone XL oil pipeline.
All about it.
I'm fully for it.
I think it's
from what I've read.
hilarious. I think it's hilarious only because because a bunch of people were like, Biden's not gonna he's gonna like bring more jobs and whatnot. Like he's gonna make more jobs like in the US. And then he slashed that and like laid off a shit ton of people.
But they were all Canadians.
No,
they
but no, they weren't though.
The pipeline runs into the Dakotas and I think into Nebraska too.
From what I've read, though, like none of those people want it, regardless of the jobs.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying even if okay, this was my theory on this, right?
All right.
Let's say hypothetically, like let's not spin the narrative of, oh, they don't want the jobs or oh, it's getting rid of jobs, right? Let's say this got rid of jobs, regardless of if it's American or if it's Canadian or if we need it or want it or don't or whatever. So you go, inherently speaking, getting rid of jobs is considered a bad thing, right?
Right.
But then you go, the pipeline is a destructive force against, for climate change
Against
in
nature.
in the negative way, yeah. So it's gonna cause pollution. It's gonna heat up the temperature. It's gonna fucking. I know the big thing was like it's gonna run through what's supposed to be Native American territory, right?
Right.
So all these bad things, quote unquote, that or all these that it does, you don't get to save doing the bad things to do one good thing, right? Like the bad outweighs the good by so much that you go, yeah, like the good that doesn't matter.
Okay. I mean, I agree with whatever weighs more. Like if there was more positives than negatives, then go,
That's
then-
all I've heard. I don't have any specifics off the top of my head, but everything that I've read through, Reddit anecdotal comments and actual articles, like I've heard that this is a good thing, and like the people that are saying it are bad, it's a bad thing. It's just like, they took our gerb. It's
Yeah,
like,
adios. I have seen though.
That's all I've heard really. Like I don't know too much about the whole pipeline deal. I mean, I know that there was a lot of people for it. There's a lot of people against it. I know it's one of those like divisive things, but
Yeah.
other than that, I don't know much about it.
Like, don't need it, so adios.
All right,
Okay.
what else we
Next
got?
couple of these COVID stuff. Wear
COVID.
masks.
What do we think about the 100-day mask challenge?
Cool. Whatever.
Wait,
I'm for it.
shouldn't we be wearing masks right now?
Probably. You're supposed to be wearing them
Wow.
everywhere, right?
Damn.
Like not.
I'm
like,
sorry.
But but like.
I saw something the other day. It said you should be wearing them in your home,
Yeah,
see,
no thanks.
no,
even
that's,
even with your family. No, like literally, it said that, and I was like, okay,
No.
like, no thanks.
I'm not doing that.
Let's
so.
see. I like this one. Number 7, extended the nationwide eviction and foreclosure moratorium until at least the end of March.
That's good.
Yeah, like people shouldn't be thrown out because
Definitely shouldn't get thrown out right
there's
now.
COVID cases rampant.
No question about that.
No.
Strengthened the Deferred Action of Childhood Arrivals program via executive order. I don't know what that is. Does that have to do with immigrant children?
Gotta be.
Not
Avril
100%
Haines
sure.
confirmed as the first woman to lead USIC as the new director of national intelligence. Cool. Sounds good. Rescinded the 1776 Commission. Awesome. Rejoined the Paris Climate Accord. Probably the second best one on the list to me.
I like that one.
When we get to the best one, I'll tell you what it is. Reverse components of immigration. Yeah.
All right.
Reverse components of immigration enforcement expansion. Cool. Pause student loan payments. Great. All for that.
That's legit.
Ordered regulatory review of the Office of Management and Budget. Cool. Halted the construction of new border security installations. Great. Don't need to waste money on that stupid shit. Announced new executive orders for school and business reopening plans. Okay. Ordered the inclusion of non-U.S. citizens in the census. Makes sense. Implemented new ethics pledges for executive branch employees. Don't care. They're all scumfucks anyways.
19 is solid.
Workplace discrimination. Okay. Extended work authorization and deportation deferrals. Attended the virtual president. Okay. Don't care. Held the first. Where's the one that I care about? Held the White House press briefing. Is this the order he did them in?
No, I had no idea.
It's just a list of things, but
How many are there?
It's a list.
Spanning COVID-19.
it's a long list.
It is. 50. Okay.
I think it's like top 50. It could be all of them or just top 50. I don't know.
What are you looking for, bud?
The private prisons.
Oh yeah, I saw
yeah.
that. It's on there. It's on there.
It
I
must
think it's
be
towards.
low.
I think it's towards the bottom.
Abortion stuff. That's good. All for that. Migrant protections. Definitely let those Mexicans in. They're fucking awesome.
Announced intention to revoke
more
transgender
immigration, good
military
stuff.
ban.
Yeah, that was good. Fired Trump appointed labor board by CEO established interagency groups. No, asked environmental.
I know what you're
Protection
talking about, though,
Agency
Gears.
to
I saw it
immediately
somewhere.
Consider methane. Okay.
Huh.
It's maybe
Well, it's not on
did I
there.
skip it?
No.
Maybe I skipped it.
I thought it was in there, but yeah, he ordered to like stop
Federal use of private prisons.
like privatizing prisons.
Just type in private prisons.
That's good.
No, it's
No,
not.
it's not on the list. It may-
That's like the
this-
worst thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was definitely the best thing he's done so
Yeah.
far.
Fully about that.
100%.
Like private prisons are disgusting.
Oh
Yep.
yeah, they're like the worst ones too.
Like
No more private prisons. That's huge. That was the second best one. That was the climate agreement, I think, and then the Keystone Pipeline's probably third.
nice.
But yeah, I mean, what? So go back. Did you already delete the list?
Yeah.
Oh,
Gone.
Okay. Anything that rubs you the wrong way, Kat? Because you're the most right of the group.
I mean, not really. Like honestly, I pretty much like after seeing the list, like Donnelly, you and our Gears wasn't here. It was me, you, and Brandon the other night.
Yeah.
Like we were talking to your dad about it. Like I actually like. I guess surprisingly, like I like pretty much everything he's doing so far. Like I'm kind of surprised. I was kind of on the camp of like he's like mentally unfit, and like now I'm kind of on the camp of like holy shit, like he has like this list of like shit he wants to do ASAP, which is like I like that. Like I like someone who has a plan and executes the plan.
Yeah.
And it's just satisfying to see like that list and be like, all right, like he did all of these things. And it's not like, I don't know, like other presidents, I feel like it's like you have to search like way too hard to figure out like what they've actually done. And like to be able to just Google that and get a list of 50 things
That he's done. in, like, 2 weeks.
yeah, since he's been in office for like you said, like 2 weeks, it's satisfying.
Yeah, you know what's really fun?
What's that?
When you have to deal with people saying things that are just blatantly untrue.
Like what?
What was the thing? Did you see this Donnelly that was circulating around that he like re-sent troops to Syria or some shit like that?
No, I
Just,
don't pay attention to
Yeah,
that
just
stuff
like
anymore.
blatantly untrue, just bullshit like that. The Keystone Pipeline thing being another one that there was obviously a bunch of narrative spin on.
Yeah. Well, there's
what was
always
the
going to
other
be narrative
thing?
spin by the opposing side.
Yeah,
like,
the Syrian thing is like he sent troops just back to Syria. It's like no, he didn't. There are still troops in Syria right now.
yeah,
and he
like
just
there has been the
yeah
whole time.
and he just like there's a resupply. You know, like every however long month, 2
Right.
weeks, every day. Who
Like
the fuck knows?
swap troops out.
Yeah,
try to
swap
do,
troops,
like,
bring more
people
stuff.
home,
Yeah,
send
yeah.
people there just to keep the
And-
numbers the same.
Yeah,
probably.
and of course the narrative got spun on like the right wing Q boards or whatever that he was
Right.
bringing troops in back into Syria and trying to this was the narrative I saw. Canceled the Keystone Pipeline so that he could justify re-entering Syria for their oil. That was like the exact narrative spin I saw, which is so fucking hilariously funny, right?
That's rough. It's
Yeah,
not funny
it's tough.
anymore. I mean, I'm done. I'm over
Yeah,
it.
it isn't really that funny.
I've had
So-
my,
there was
I've
another
had my
narrative
rants and my
too.
raves and my angry yelling, but
Yeah.
like I went off on Korzeniecki the other day.
Oh no, we don't need to say names.
That's not who I was talking about, by the way.
Yo, I got a quick question for you guys, really quick.
What's up?
So, kind of to move on from this, like rejoining the climate accords, like, what do you guys think of electric vehicles now in 2020, and what do you think moving forward? I guess we could kind of touch on Donnelly if you want to pull up an image of the new images of the facelift of the Model S. Like, what do we think? Like, I have a close family member who I was speaking with about the about electric vehicles, and I said, hey, like, this is exactly what I said. I said, would you ever buy an electric vehicle? And they said, no, probably not. Like, I don't think I would ever reap the benefits of one. And I said, like, what do you mean by that? And they said, I don't believe in electric vehicles.
Yeah,
This is an
I
old.
wonder what channel they
white
spend
person?
most of their time watching.
No comment.
Like,
all I'm gonna say is, like, they just said, I don't believe in electric vehicles, and like, I don't know.
This is an old person. Like, that's an old person.
I just felt some type of way, only because, like,
sorry,
science just has to mean nothing. Like, I feel like at this point in time, like, for you to not believe in global warming and like climate change, I feel like it's like the type of like buried your head in the sand type deal, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, why you can Google almost anything and it will show you how climate change is happening and is a real thing. So
I mean, it's because of what they spend their time doing, right? They spend their time listening to and watching people who tell them that, and then they go, yeah, I think that too.
All that I know,
right?
is
I mean, that's the only thing
just-
that makes sense.
just being in the circles that
Mhm.
agree with the same
The
things.
echo chamber,
the
right?
next car that I purchase
That one is
Will
sexy,
be-
dude.
will be
1,000 horsepower.
It's a lot.
the next car that I purchase will be an electric car, and it's probably gonna be a Tesla.
I want to get a Model 3.
I'm probably gonna get a Model Y.
Really?
Yeah, I like.
I
the
like
Y.
the Model Y. There's more space. I like it.
I like the looks of it. I like everything about it. And I am starting a job soon, so hopefully I'll get some hours, get a paycheck, and be able to get rid of the Mustang. And
Dude, I've just been seeing so many Teslas. Like,
they're
they're everywhere. I like them.
I wish I got the 3 that I ordered, but I'm excited that I'm not going to be able to get the Y instead.
Right. See, so what do you guys think about like Ford versus Tesla? Like, I've been hearing lots of good things about this new Mach-E electric Mustang.
I hear a lot of great things about it too, but at the same time, like,
I hear it's going to be Tesla's biggest competitor.
for sure.
I would definitely buy a non-Tesla brand EV if it stood up.
But the issue
especially
is
if the price point was right.
the competitor with this vehicle is the Porsche.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, but like, see, this is like upper echelon though.
Yes.
Like
this
Model
is probably
S,
what,
like,
$120,000 car.
Yeah.
Even right now, like a Model S spec'd out, they're over 100,000.
Yeah, this Plaid Plus, like I can go to Tesla right now, but I believe that the Plaid Plus starts at like 125.
Yeah, see, like that's like the type of vehicle. Like, if I'm gonna spend that
And
on
520 miles, holy shit!
if
that's
I'm gonna
so much.
spend that on a car, I want a gas car. Personally,
if I were to spend that much money on a car right now, I would either get the Taycan or a Model S, like, for sure.
I don't know,
just
man.
feel
After
like
if
there's
I had
more
100,
fun to be had.
if I had 120K to fucking blow on a car after being in one of those BMWs, I would probably consider the BMW
Yeah.
But
too.
you've never
For
been in a
sure.
car like this.
No, I mean I haven't been in the new facelifted Model S. You're right, but I'm saying like I sat in and drove around in the
Was it a M4?
M5
Oh, okay. M4
and like fully loaded, and it was a cool car.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Like it doesn't do the same stuff, but like it's cool. Like
See,
it was definitely I could understand. I was like, okay, this makes sense. The
you
price
gotta go
makes
with the
sense on
white.
this thing.
See, I just, like you were saying, Donnelly, I understand what you're saying. Like, if you were to drop that money, like, you'd get that or a Taycan. But, like, when in the back of my head, it always comes down to, like, there's no sound. Like, I'm like an old-fashioned car
You'd be
guy, like,
amazed how much you don't care about that.
But I do. Like,
I don't.
I do. Like, 100%. Like, I want my car to be loud and obnoxious.
Oh, my 911 Turbo is saved. I wonder if this code still works for how long it's been in my fucking history.
Probably not.
So here's a question. While
What's up?
Donnelly's fucking around with the prices or whatever.
Sure.
How do you feel on that kind of same note about like what type of car person you are?
Okay.
How do you feel? Because this has kind of been a narrative that's been, I guess, spun by the right, but it's honestly kind of true.
Okay.
Not owning cars.
Well, elaborate on that. What do you mean exactly?
Like it
not
seems
owning
like
cars.
the trend of these big like companies, right? So like Uber and Tesla and Facebook and Apple and whoever the fuck is trying to get in on the EV car bullshit, and all the big ones like this and Ford and whoever, all the Chinese companies too, is like once they're fully autonomous, right?
Right.
And electric, and you don't have to, like, you don't put gas in them, you don't drive them, you don't have to have car insurance anymore or anything like that. It's like you don't actually own your car. Like, you basically just, it wouldn't even be like you schedule it either. Like, there would just be cars around and you would just like go get in one.
So it'd be like how like parks and like shit have like those scooters.
Yes,
and, like,
kind of
bikes
like
just,
that.
around,
Yeah.
where you could just like go grab one off a rack.
You have an
and
app
just, like,
on your phone or whatever.
use it and
Mhm.
then just put it on a rack when you get by your job.
You wouldn't even, you just probably park it in the street.
Well, I mean, like,
Or you wouldn't, that's the other thing, you wouldn't even park it because you just get out
you
and
would
the
just
car
get
would
out
drive
and
away.
it would just go away to its
Mhm.
next customer.
You literally would, like, you would probably put, like, the bare bones idea would be, right, like you put in your app, like, I leave for work at this time every day, right?
And there'll just be a car
There'll
outside
just be a car
waiting
outside
for
waiting
you.
for
There'll
you.
be no
when
one
you
in
leave.
it.
Nope, you just get in the seat.
Fully autonomous.
It drives you to
See,
work, and then when you
like-
get out of work, it doesn't stay at work. It just drives away and goes to get somebody, like almost how Uber works, but
Yeah.
like it just all anywhere you want to go is
See,
that.
I don't have a problem with that
You don't.
as long as you have a choice.
In which kind of car you get into?
No, in like doing that or not. Like,
Oh,
like I'm just saying, like I wish you had a choice. Like you could do that, or if I still want to own my own vehicle, I can still own my own vehicle and drive it.
so like, all right,
I'm just
let me.
all for choice. So it's
So-
like I'd be cool with that because I'm
Yeah.
sure there'd be some days where I'd be like, oh, like do I want to drive myself today?
Sure.
I'll drive myself. Or like, do I want to go, just hop in and go like get driven,
So my next point, Smitty just asked, how long until you think the roads are 100% electric?
The roads
Like-
or just all
Like all the
vehicles on
cars.
the
So
roads?
Long time.
at least 10 years.
yeah, probably that's not a long time though.
No,
10
but
years.
I don't think it's that
I
long.
think it'd be long. I think it'd be longer than 10 years.
I think
No.
2035 would be a pretty good estimate.
Like, I think here's the thing. Like, motorcycles aren't going to be fully electric for a long time.
They're
and, like,
starting to make more and more electric motorcycles, but it goes back to people like me. A lot of the criticism against electric motorcycles is that there's no sound. Like true car and bike enthusiasts, one way or another, they love how their machines sound.
Okay, so
All right,
here,
so I'm
let's
not
put it
gonna-
this way really quick.
I'm not going to continue building this Porsche, but like,
it looks sick.
yeah, I mean, realistically, I would probably get this over the Tesla, just because
What's the price point on the Tesla?
this Porsche that I built,
I see, like,
I half
116,
built
right?
116. The Tesla 156.
Oh, Jesus.
But like the Porsche would probably be easily that much once I was done configuring it.
Right.
Like that was still a nearly base Taycan, and like this is a fully built Model
Yeah.
S.
Okay, so what'll end up happening is what you'll see, which is this is what happened. Like again, this is what I do for work, so I kind of know this. But like, this is what happened with the incandescent light bulb, right? Like
We talked about this.
they
yeah.
just stopped making the incandescent light bulb. You can buy them if you can find them technically, but you cannot manufacture them anymore.
That's what we'll get to.
That is what we'll get to
Yes.
first, where it goes like you
Absolutely.
cannot buy a new car that isn't electric
Mhm.
and isn't fully autonomous,
Absolutely.
and or you can't make one. You
Yeah,
can
Pete.
buy one, but then what will happen and what we'll see the narrative go to really quick is, like these cars are unfit for the road, the cars that people are driving.
Yeah, like the old school ones.
Because all the human error will be taken out of the other cars, so only things that will like the causation of accidents or whatever will probably be like all on the human
Will
side.
be like people.
And then people will be like, we have to like stop letting this happen. And then it'll be like, if you want to drive, you have to go to like a place,
like a track.
yeah, like a track or
Like-
like whatever.
And I get that, but it's just like
Or there will be like, or who knows, like maybe it'll be one of those weird things, like kind of how like they do internet like rollout, where like once you get like south of I-80 in Chicagoland, it's like you can drive your car out here, but you can't drive, like you can't be in the city with a car that doesn't drive itself.
yeah.
It'll be like it'll go like that.
That
so,
just sounds so scary.
so, Smitty, to
Like,
answer
it
your
sounds so
question-
controlled.
yeah.
Like I hate that.
To answer your question,
sounds
Smitty,
horrible.
I think 2035 would be the earliest, and I think 2050 would be the latest that we see like a full electric vehicle, autonomous like fleet. I think the first thing we'll see that goes fully autonomous, fully electric will be actually
Ubers.
Freight. No, freight.
Oh, well, yeah.
I think freight. I think that
like
we will see in
the
the next.
profession of semi truck drivers
Gone.
will be extinct.
What we'll
It's
see
gonna be
is
all electric.
like all the trucks that will in the next 10 years will be fully electric, and they'll all be like almost like a train that just runs on the freeway in like the right lane.
Yeah, that'd
And
be
like
cool.
they all go the same speed. They all go like it's like well manufactured, and basically like you just lose that lane of the freeway.
You don't
and,
have to
like,
worry
yeah,
about being boxed in by double semis
Yeah,
on both
yeah, or
your
them going
sides.
in the middle lane because they want to go 62 instead of 60.
Or them
yeah.
going in the far left lane trying to do 75 in a
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah, right.
huge ass truck.
So I think that to answer your question, I think that's where I think we're going, personally. But
What do you think about this, Donnelly?
he's still pissing.
Oh, I didn't
Yeah,
notice he
but
wasn't in there.
I'm personally. Oh, jeepers.
Oh, what do we have here?
This for you.
Wow.
What is it?
Hold on.
Oof.
Cheers, gentlemen.
Cheers.
I'll explain what this
Cheers.
is.
We're drinking.
I'm gonna take a sip first.
That's
good.
really good. I know what this is, Donnelly.
I don't.
Hey, Donnelly, is this what is it, Macallan?
Yes, it is.
Haha.
Yes, it is.
I
Year.
knew it, dude.
18.
Uh-huh.
good.
I wanted to bust out a little bit of the good stuff. It's February 1st. Basically, January is a buffer month. Fuck January. February sucks too, but you're on your way to spring.
I agree with
Yeah.
that. I agree with fuck January and
Cheers.
February's short enough that like it doesn't fucking
Exactly.
count.
So, it's Rabbit Day. Break out the fucking Macallan 18 for Rabbit Day.
Cheers,
it.
mates.
Cheers.
Cheers. Glad to be back in the video format.
Yeah,
for
sorry
all
we
of our
missed last
viewers.
week. It's
yeah.
like full blown torrential
and
snowstorming in
just putting it out
Chicagoland.
there, like for anyone who is tuned in right now, for anyone who might see this in the future, we're gonna get back on our shit here. Like we've been kind of far and in between here for the last couple weeks.
Well,
It's January.
To
it's
get
buffer
into
month.
it, yeah, we had a big snowstorm last Monday, and that like inhibited us because we don't live in the same we're not in a content house, right? So like we have to drive here to do this.
Right.
Might be working on a content house though. That
Hey,
Gears,
that'd be
Gears is not gonna be
sick.
part of it though because
And
he's
then-
moving to Florida.
Wow.
then
Retiring at
Shady.
25.
Tired, yeah. And then that was last week. 2 weeks ago was the conundrum with the hardware not working. So we had to do audio only.
That was terrible.
And then the week before that, canceled and we didn't reschedule for the championship game.
Yeah.
So like you said, January's kind of a shitty month, but whatever.
We're gonna
Next
get
week,
back on the grind.
next week we'll do Super Bowl recap and whatnot. But
Yeah.
what are we
forget
at?
to
We're
talk about
at
that a
we're
little
actually
bit.
only at like 50 minutes. I feel like we've been going for a long time, but we actually
we're
aren't.
good.
What else do we want to talk
We're just
about?
in the
What else we
groove.
got?
Do you want to talk about this Gears? I'm not sure exactly.
Yeah, I was kind of reading up on this. I thought it was interesting. So
Yeah, I read up on it a little bit.
do you want to go for
yeah,
it?
I'll go into it. So
Oh,
I'll
we
just,
didn't talk about net neutrality.
Oh yeah.
That was
yeah.
kind of where we were supposed to go with the
Yeah,
whole
we
thing.
were
Let's talk
supposed
about
to.
that.
Oh yeah, so let's definitely talk about this.
Okay.
So, kind of preface, like for anyone who is here with us, kind of give like a little a quick backstory on like what exactly net neutrality is.
All right, I can do this real quick.
Okay.
Basically, think about it this way. You pay your internet service provider for access to the internet, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
If the net wasn't neutral, not only would you have to pay your internet service provider for access to the internet, you have to pay for everything else. So,
Right. So it's like if I want to go on YouTube, there
Like-
could be a paywall.
yes.
Like that's the thing, yeah.
But
so
since
could be
there already
paywalls
is
everywhere.
paywalls, like that's where things get complicated. So it's like the ISP charges you to access them, and then whoever owns the server of the site is going to charge you to access them, and they're also charging the person that is hosting the server pay. So basically, here's how this would work.
All right.
We pay Comcast for the internet. You pay Netflix for Netflix.
For their service, for their streaming service.
Without net neutrality, the person that Netflix pays to be on the internet, like you're gonna pay that person too.
Yeah, I was
now.
gonna say they could charge us too.
Exactly.
So I always heard it compared to like if the internet's a freeway, the further you go into the left lanes, the more expensive it's going to be for you to
Yes.
drive.
Right.
which is actually funny enough. That's actually how like the highway system is in Dallas,
So
from what I understand.
Really?
Yeah,
you're
kinda.
explaining the other thing that could happen if we lose net neutrality, which would be like old school cell phone plans. Remember how you used to pay per minute and per text?
Mhm.
Well, you can still do that.
But like
Not you can't anymore.
I mean,
That's
you can get
like-
a new contract like that with your phone.
that's like
Yeah,
how
you
the
can.
internet would be.
yeah.
I mean, you could do like a burner phone where you would pay by the minute or
I mean,
whatever.
I used to pay by the everything with my old phone plan before I moved home. You can
Didn't you
still
have-
definitely do
Didn't you
that.
have Ting?
Yeah.
or
Yeah,
some
I
shit?
use Ting, and
Ting
they
and
still do a
Mint
pay as you go.
Isn't that shit trash?
No, it's great.
Boost.
Really?
Yeah. Ting
What
was
towers do
fantastic.
they use?
You get T-Mobile and Sprint towers.
which
Oh,
are
no
now
shit.
all of just T-Mobile anyways.
Yeah.
Are they?
Yeah,
Yep.
T-Mobile
Oh.
bought Sprint,
There's actually in the article, like they talk about that.
which
but
is part of this. Yeah.
So no,
Regardless.
to go on to where I was kind of going, like the main thing for me that I think is just absolute bullshit, like right now with how things are,
Mm-hmm.
and I think they should do away with it. Data caps.
So this with net neutrality failing, data caps will be even worse than you would ever imagine.
Yeah, and like that's what's mind-boggling to me.
Because they're
So,
already
like,
bad. Like
since-
I push my data caps to with Comcast to the limit because they say theoretically if you hit the data caps they'll offer you an unlimited plan for like
Right.
$5 more.
Yeah.
So I fucking blast
And
that
it-
data
and it
cap.
never happens.
Never happens.
No, it's just you.
Okay. Keep going. Sorry.
So I, right now, like, so how much data do you get a month, Donnie, on your plan?
Terabyte.
Like, okay, a terabyte. Yeah. See, that's what we get at my house. And like the last 3 months, I've hit the cap and
I
like
eat that
went
alive.
over. I've hit the cap and went over because
I can tell you right now how much I've used on my computer.
it's ridiculous. But the moral I'm trying to get to here is, why is there a data cap?
I've used 300 gigs on this line in the last 30 days, and that's what I've recorded using.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like I just
Like
don't
so
understand,
that
like-
300 is probably at least 900,
yeah.
and just on this computer.
You got no audio gears? What's going on? Oh no. You got
Gears having a hard time.
yeah. Said his left ear went out. No, all I was trying to get at here was I just think that data caps are stupid. Like, it just makes no sense to me. It's just a way for companies to make money off you for nothing. Like, because to them, like,
Imagine paying for internet like you pay for gas.
do you think there's any difference for the company providing your internet on how much data you use a month?
Absolutely not.
Exactly.
Absolutely not.
So like that's why
Not a sliver.
if that's the case, then like why are there data caps?
Why are there speed plans?
Well, exactly. You should just get the fastest possible
Absolutely.
at all times, and you
Absolutely.
should never be data capped.
Absolutely.
Like since I've got my PC and been downloading a bunch of stuff, every day my grandma's like, "Hey, you know, like we're this much into our data."
Just
And
use a
every-
VPN and that
and
helps a little bit.
Every time I'm like, "Why do we have a cap?"
No,
and
he
she's
was,
like,
he was
"Oh,
talking
well-"
about Jitterbug, the phone provider.
Oh.
That's still a thing.
I thought he was saying like I'm a jitterbug because I was bouncing around over here trying to get the headphone back.
Does it work now?
Yeah, I had to like spin the I don't know. Whatever.
All right.
It
well,
works. I'm good.
But yeah, so I mean, that's just really all I want to touch on. Like, I just think like when net neutrality was like in trouble, like when did that all go down? With
To be very frank though, we're still nowhere near net neutral.
no,
Net neutral would be like basically saying that the internet is a utility.
Exactly.
which it is though.
It
Well,
is,
it
but it's
is, but
not
it's not.
in our
But
government.
but it is though. Like I think they're pushing for it even more. Like I was reading something the other day that like Biden was pushing for it more as a utility with like how everything is going to like remote learning
Good.
and like
Right.
this and that with like COVID restrictions, and it's becoming more and more and more essential for kids everywhere to have stable internet because
Kyle.
that's their only form of learning.
Every
And-
time
and
you
people
say
working
something
from home,
super
too.
liberal, I'm going to start clipping it
Well,
just to prove to
stop
you
it.
that how liberal
Stop
you
it.
are.
But, like-
that was one right there.
No,
That's the thing.
no,
The
no.
internet is a utility. Clip.
Well, I mean, it is and it isn't. Like, this is the thing. No, hear me out. Hear me out. I think it is and it isn't. Like at this point in time, it's like in this gray area.
It should be
because
for sure.
it's came from something that wasn't a utility, like something that was just like
Yeah, but so were cell phone or so were telephones. So
Mm.
was everything that's not like electricity used to not be a utility.
But all
like,
I'm saying is that
Yeah.
like once something gets used so much into existence and advances and advances and advances, it turns from something that's not a utility to something that's a necessity.
Absolutely.
From what's become of it.
And that's the internet. The internet is not only a necessity, it's a necessity for everyone in this country to have not only internet access, but good internet access.
Yes.
Like, the internet that we have here is some of the best available in the country,
right?
And it's still not that good.
No.
Just think about this. If you were, like, if you had kids in your house,
At
right?
least
If
we're
you
not
had
in Australia.
If you had, like, children and
Yeah.
you didn't have electric in your house, Child Protective Services would, like, come take the kid away, right? But, like, they're really, like, realistically, that should be how it is with the internet.
I agree.
Especially right now.
Especially
like
right now.
An internetless home right now, in terms of, like, having a child, is like
you're raising
yeah.
like someone with zero education and 0 skills. It's just like a fucking meat sack.
Especially in the last year, like maybe a year, maybe like 18 months ago, less. But like now, especially now, like where they have no choice, but like school is online.
Yes.
You know, so I don't know. But this is the other thing which is interesting. I mean, it goes both ways here because like water and electric, technically they are utility. They're utilitarian in the sense that like everybody, but like, you know, our electric bills aren't the same.
Right.
Because if I use more electric, I pay more, and our kilowatt hour rate, which is what the utility is based off of, is not the same as it is in Montana or California or anything like that.
Yeah.
So it's not a perfect science, but like it's definitely not great, especially like Donnelly said, because like you don't get capped on how much electric you can use. Oh,
What's going on?
I don't know. We lost Donnelly.
See ya.
He's gone. Gone
no,
forever.
but all I know is like I read another article somewhere that was saying like how like water and electricity, you shouldn't even have to pay for them at this point.
Yeah, I mean that's
like
that's
realistically, why do you have to pay for something that's a necessity?
Well,
like if you need water and you need electricity to survive, why do you have to pay?
But then you could also say that about housing. You technically need shelter to survive.
Well, but I just mean in like a different vein.
Yeah.
But because when it comes to housing, like if we were gonna go that far, then we'd go all the way to the point of like everyone just having the exact same house and like like full blown communism. But so I'm not talking that far. I'm talking just to the point of like why, like I understand having to pay for your actual house.
Yeah.
Because it's like you can have any type of house you want, but it's not like you can have like different types of water. Like water here, like water in this area at this house is the same as the water down the street.
But you have the choice. I think the reason that you pay for water and electric, like even though it's so cheap, like electric is so cheap, it's actually kind of expensive here, I think, compared to some places. But like generally speaking, it's really cheap. The reason that you pay for it is like you have the capacity to like use as much or as little as you want.
Right.
So like that kind of brings into a level of like, well, we don't want people wasting it in abundance, but we also want people to.
What is
it a waste for data? Like these motherfuckers have these fucking data centers that have.
Yeah, but that's just another form of electric.
Well, what if they did like this? Check this out. What if they did like, you could use X amount of like water, and then once you got to a level, anything over that you'd have to pay for.
That's
they gave everyone like a base amount, and then they're like, all right, and then like it was like a decent amount, like what average households like in whatever area use, like right now they're like, you know what, we'll give you that for free, and then if you go over the average, then you just have to pay more.
But like, isn't that technically what they're doing with the data?
No.
Like, isn't the numbers just like an average that they've like decided is like indiscriminately like this is what we expect people to be using, and if you use more, like you're fucked?
No, because those numbers are extremely low.
Sure.
So like that's the difference. Like I
guess
like, I understand what you're saying,
could you imagine,
but like the numbers are extremely low.
Do you think if that was a system, like I'm trying to imagine, like I'm like going back to living with my parents, right?
Yeah.
You go like, how short would my showers have to get to make it so that we could like not have to pay a water bill? And it goes like my mom would be fucking screaming. And like if the water was left on, or like if we
I guess true. It would all be the same in the end.
You know what I mean? Like that's all I'm saying. Is
You're
like,
right.
Everything is too low, right, or whatever, because you want. But I think that the actual direction is that I don't hate the idea of being charged for usage
Right.
like you would for water or electric,
Yeah.
if that number is like reasonably low, like if you're paying like 7 cents a kilowatt hour for electric or whatever, the 12 cents, whatever the fuck we pay, like really, really low,
Yeah.
then you go like it should be like that low for data as well or lower.
We should be hitting like I don't see, here's the issue. Like the speed, the amount of data, I'll pay for data usage. That's fine. Give me unlimited speed.
Correct.
Give me a gigabit connection, give me 1,000 up down, and I'll pay for every fucking terabyte that I go through.
Yeah.
Right. And if that's the thing. If it's you might even become, think about it. You might become data conscious too. Like,
but I wouldn't.
You wouldn't, but you would just pay it. But I'm saying some people might.
Like some people might, but
yeah,
that's
where
fine.
you go.
That's a much better world. Like I would so much rather have that option. Like, and I don't have that option.
If it's $100 or $200 or whatever per terabyte usage, like
that would be fair.
That'd be fair. That'd be fine.
I hate, like, my biggest thing with internet, like paying and usage wise and speed mainly, is like we at my house for whatever, I don't know how much it is, but we pay for 200 down and like whatever up. I don't even know what the up is.
Which is nothing.
Like
nothing up. It's always nothing up.
Yeah, like the up is always stupid slow.
15,
like if you have 200 down, it'll be like 15 or 20 up. Which is just ridiculous.
Granted, we're streaming right now.
Right, so it's gonna be lower.
Let's see the speed.
There's a pretty good chance that my mom's watching TV upstairs.
All right, run it.
But we pay for 1,000 down and I think 100 up.
See, that's ridiculous. 1,000 down.
Which is, that's actually becoming the standard. It's not that expensive.
Is it really?
Okay.
I pay. That's what we have in my house.
What?
But still,
so you're just getting half. But you're wired in. We are streaming, but so it's bogging it.
Wired streaming, at least one other device using it, getting a third of what I
more than that, because I'm on your or me and Kat were on your Wi-Fi.
Yeah, but that doesn't do anything. But this is the real sad thing. If this number was matching this number, I'd be like, all right, fine.
Yeah.
But it's not.
Why is the up always so low?
It matters less.
Because no, but it doesn't matter less. It matters more to the internet service provider. That speed is the speed that matters for gamers and anything that actually matters. This speed is for streaming. You don't need a high upload speed to stream. But like the upload speed is where
that's like latency, right?
Comcast themselves needs to be sending the data quicker, like back.
That's what I mean. Like that's like latency. Like that's like when I click a button and am shooting at someone else somewhere, miles and miles away. That's the difference. Like that number is the difference of me shooting them first or them shooting me first.
Basically.
Yeah. Right.
But like the average user download matters more too.
So basically, I watch Linus Tech Tips, and I had this video on in the background. And from what I understand, he just installed a 25 gig connection for his like office. So basically, everybody in his office shares this 25 gig connection.
Now, what does that mean? 25 gig connection.
So we have a 1 gig connection down. He has 25 gigs down and 25 gigs up.
Now, why would you do that?
That's unbelievably incredibly fast.
Oh, because this is megabytes.
Gigs.
Yeah, megabits.
Oh,
yeah,
megabits.
that's megs.
Okay, and you're talking about gigs.
Yeah, so like this is 0.3 gig. He has 25.
What?
Where at?
Canada.
In Canada.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, that's nutty.
Mm-hmm.
What, could you even get anything like that out here?
In this country, no. I think you might be able to get like 10 gig lines for businesses in certain areas if you paid tens of thousands of dollars to get a fiber line and then thousands of dollars a month for the connection.
Now, why is the internet so shit in the U.S.?
Because we are so deep into capitalism and we're just taking the long deep dick of capitalism every day.
Which is funny though, because
like,
funny enough, that is the general
the answer.
But like the long strong answer is back in like the 2000s or maybe the early 2010s, like right in that like window.
The infrastructure isn't there.
No, like the government put a bunch of money up like in the budget for fiber optic network, like creation. Like they wanted.
The people were probably like, "You'll never take off."
And the ISPs were like, "Yeah, we want that money. We'll do it." And then they didn't.
Took the money to like build the infrastructure for fiber optics, and then they were like, "It's too hard.
We're not doing it."
And then the government was like, "Okay, give the money back," and then they were like, "No."
Then how did anything come of that?
They lobbied, and then people got paid, and then they just got swept under the rug, and now we just oh
Now
my
we
shit.
just- internet.
Now we just have shit internet.
Yeah,
Yep.
and it'll just never get better. Like they basically try to compare it to like trying to put in like high-speed railways,
Yeah.
which is another huge issue in the United States. Like we don't have any sort of like high-speed infrastructure for like transit, like intracontinental transit.
That's because
Why don't we?
because fucking the gas and coal and oil lobbies were like, hey, we like cars, so none of that shit.
And that's why, like, even if you wanted to take, like, let's say you wanted to take a train from, like, here to, I don't even know where the fuck you can take a train to from here, honestly. Like, if you wanted to take a train from here to,
Lots
like,
of places,
you can
dude.
take a train anywhere, but it's gonna take you 2 weeks.
I would get on a train. No, that's not even true. Like, I mean, I would get on a train, like, and go to school all the time.
yeah, but, like, I'm saying, like, no, yeah, like, interstate or, like, intrastate. Like, I could hop on a train and go to Chicago or down into, like, the St. Louis area.
Right.
But I'm saying if you wanted to go
You're
to,
saying
like,
across the country.
yeah, if I wanted to go to, like, Arizona on a train.
You probably could.
It'd be a huge, you could. It would take a fuckload of time.
would
It
probably
wouldn't be cheaper
It
than
would probably take longer than a
airplane.
car.
Right, and it would be just as expensive as an airplane ticket, take twice as long, and like the reason that it's like that is because all of the railway transit is all
It's all cargo.
second to cargo.
Yeah.
So cargo gets priority in everything, and like
Yep.
in order to like basically make personal transit like a thing they're basically like you'd have to build your own railway system, and they're just like no. We'd rather just have people fly or take cars.
Yeah. I mean.
That's literally the answer. But they've basically given the same rationale to why these big companies couldn't build fiber optics. They're like, we'd have to tear up roadways, we'd have to fucking go in people's backyards, we'd have to do this, that, and the other. Which, with the way that the United States government, again, people think you live in like this weirdly free like bubble of like being able to do whatever you want and like having no consequences, and the government's supposed to like stay away from you. But like, if the government wanted to buy your property. Right?
Yeah.
I don't know, Donnelly, maybe you can find the name of this. I forget because it's getting knocked out of my head. But like,
Schnurf.
if the government wanted to buy your property from you, they'd come to you
Yeah.
and they'd say, we're going to offer you, 1.25 the amount that your lot's worth. Do you want to buy it? And if you went,
Hey Siri.
no. And
What's
then
it
you
called
went,
when the government takes your property legally?
yeah. If they came back and they said, okay, here's 1.5.
Eminent domain.
Eminent domain.
Yeah.
And they go, here's 1.5 times the value of your property, and you still went, no, I'm good.
Then they come back and they're like, hey, this is ours now.
They'll be like, we'll offer you, double, and you're still like, no. They're like, okay, well now you don't get anything, and it's ours now.
Yeah, that's
So,
exactly
like,
how it goes.
They can just take your land from
yeah.
you, and like they do have to give you some sort of compensation.
I was
but like
talking
once
with
you
some people at work about that. It's
Yeah.
like you don't actually like you may own your house, but like you don't ever actually own
the land.
the land.
The
the
that
government
you
owns
own.
all the land.
Right.
You basically
That's
buy
pretty
the
scary.
land from the government and like hope they don't buy it back.
Right.
But like
Or
they
take
could
it.
buy it back, or just they
can't take it.
they can't just
They
take
have
it.
to
They
give you
have
what
to
it's
give you
worth.
what it's worth. But like they
Pick
will
what it's
offer
worth.
you right, and they will offer you more than it's worth to try to get you to leave like calmly. So like if they wanted to go in somebody's backyard and like if it was a government funded project to do like an interstate data build out with like fiber optics,
Yeah.
they could just go in your backyard and do it.
Yeah.
Same as like if
Hey,
they
what's
needed
funny?
to go.
I've heard stories of like the government. So this has happened literally. Those houses on 59 that are like,
Yeah.
how 59 is trying to be a bigger road now than it was 15 years ago.
Yes.
And there's like 2 houses left there.
On the on the left, right when you get off by the kind of like the police
Oh yeah.
station. you mean?
There's that dome house over there.
Yeah, over in that area. Yeah.
Yeah.
Closer to the highway and right where that dome house is. So
Yeah, on the
basically,
opposite
Yeah,
Cool.
like just past the Chicken and Spice.
Yes.
all those houses have been offered these government like money to like move because they don't want those houses there anymore. And like instead of the government taking the whole land, they just take a little bit more and more and keep like just pushing that street like closer and closer to the front doors of all these houses.
That's awesome.
it's-
Until they want to move.
Yeah.
And they just push them out.
So like now like those people have like 2 feet of a front yard instead of like however much they had 15 years ago, and they still won't fucking move, and the government's like, okay, we're just gonna take another foot. We'll take another foot because we
That's
can.
so
Like,
funny.
here's $1,000 for this foot
Right.
of land. Like,
And so people think like you like if your neighbor's power went out and like if the power issue was in your yard, like you wouldn't be able to be like no.
No, yeah. Of course.
You'd have to let them. It'd be the exact same thing, but
Yeah.
they feigned like we can't do this because of it would be like an encroachment on too much fucking property and blah blah blah. All this shit. It's actually interesting to look into. But yeah, that's basically how it went.
property laws.
But how much? What else do you want to talk about? Because we're at an hour and 10 minutes, and our viewer count has started to dwindle a bit.
Let's talk about some sports.
Okay, because I know the viewer count is up. What do you want to talk about sports-wise?
I want to talk about
Football desert is becoming closer and
upcoming-
closer.
I want to talk about the upcoming Super Bowl.
Elon's giving some money. Let's finish talking politics real quick. We had a
Okay.
couple videos. Jack Ma's
Jack
back.
Ma's not dead.
Which is insane.
Yeah,
he
not
got
the-
released. He was locked up.
What are the chances that they gave this motherfucker a lobotomy and now he is fully programmed Chinese man? Like,
Where did they say where did he say he came from? Where did he say it was?
Wait,
don't know,
go
do you wanna watch
actually back to. I think it's in Chinese.
I speak Chinese.
Yeah, how are we supposed to translate this? Hello, it's in Chinese.
Founder Jack Ma, the English teacher, entrepreneur, met with 100 world teachers from across the country.
He's
via
an
video
English
on Wednesday.
teacher?
That's how he got his start. Yeah, he was a teacher.
Why doesn't he
again after the COVID-19 epidemic was over? He said to them, "Go scroll down."
Hey, read Tilt Lords. You guys will both laugh real quick.
Where's original Jack Ma?
Yeah.
Like they're basically they don't know exactly where he went.
And now he's back.
Where was he?
I fucked it up. He's back. But basically, he got sent to some kind of
What?
camp or whatever.
Nice knowing you.
Yeah. No, I think what's funny is like
I'd be down.
he probably just got like a very stern talking to and had to sit in like a cushy room
By
with
like
no lights.
the
for, like, a
Chinese
couple-
government.
Yeah.
They
yeah.
they just had a spotlight on him, and they're like, "This is
Yeah.
what you're gonna say from now on."
Yeah,
Precisely.
it was probably
Quit-
like
quit
some
fucking
like it
around.
probably wasn't what you think. Like it wasn't like a lobotomy. It wasn't like
It was a
it
labor
was.
camp.
It was probably like Chinese water torture, where he had to sit in a couch and have like water dripped on his head while they
Whoa.
played like a video of like the things that he shouldn't say.
I want to watch this fucking idiot.
All right,
Okay.
let's see.
Warren Police Station. We're going to go in and file a complaint because we were illegally pulled over about an hour ago. Isn't that right, Brandon? That's 100% accurate.
They were illegally pulled over.
Dumb fucking idiot.
Did they shoot this
We
guy?
felt a
No.
little afraid for our lives when we were pulled over, so we figured we
They
better
felt
protect
afraid for their
ourselves.
lives with a fucking AK.
So when they were pulled over, they weren't armed.
They got
Oh,
the
okay.
gas.
So they got armed and then went to the police station because they were afraid for their lives when they were pulled over. Quote
How
unquote.
do these guys not get fucking blown away?
They have a
I know they have
buff.
open carry, right?
They have
What state is this?
They have a buff.
Yeah, they do. But what state is this? Because I'm sure there's like it's not only
Jesus.
just the white people buff. It's
I think it's probably Michigan, dude. It's always
is
Michigan.
it? I don't know.
Wait,
This
wait,
this
wait, you're
this
going too fast. I can't read any of these.
this reads
What's the
to
top
me
comment?
like
Fuck that
this.
shit. I'm
This
trying to
reads to
figure out
me
what it
like South Carolina.
Just look. Google all states that have open carry. There's not that many.
No, there are. There's more than you think.
No, there's not. I know there's like.
Is that illegal?
probably, like,
Found this from
five.
another
Dearborn,
Redditor.
Dearborn, Michigan.
Oh,
Told
you're
you it was
right.
fucking Michigan.
So yeah, open
I'm moving
carry.
to Michigan.
So that's probably the real answer how they don't get shot. But they did get arrested.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, they got instantly instantly.
Because you can't go.
Let's
in...
watch the rest of the video. Like,
Okay.
Yeah, let's
Like
check it
they-
out.
Sorry,
they get
I had
arrested
questions.
on the
I needed
spot,
some.
like-
I
Run
need
it.
some pre details.
Ooh, I'm gonna love watching these fucking idiots get arrested.
Yeah, it's immediate. Like, this guy
Like, what do they
walks
think
in,
they
like,
can do?
Who knows? Like, they're just morons.
Like, why would you walk in there loaded, dude?
It's the same.
I'd be
it's the
so
same
scared.
Concept of a person that would storm the Capitol. Like I'm just surprised that it
Watch,
wasn't
watch,
like
shut the
pop,
fuck
pop,
up.
Dude, put that on the ground.
Holy shit.
Put it on the ground. I'm not trying to put it on the ground now. Put it on the ground.
Yeah, idiots. Idiots.
Yeah, like what the fuck did they think that was gonna go?
That's the
Look at
dumbest
these
shit I've ever
dumb,
seen.
Dumb and dumber. Like,
Which one looks dumber though? Like,
th-
The guy
this
on the left, yeah.
I
this
don't know.
guy.
That
guy
guy on
that
the
had-
right looks pretty
Hey,
fucking dumb, dude.
The guy on the right is older, so he gets the old people pass.
Alright.
This guy is like our age.
That
so,
dude
so-
just needs to like cut his hair and shave his beard, and he looks so much better.
and not be a left wing or a right wing nut. Oh, Leonard.
The
of
mental
course.
illness.
Oh, it's Leonard.
Oh, that's where they're from.
Oh,
Leonard.
damn
What
it.
is what's the link say? They film themselves. Oh, okay. Yeah,
Idiots,
I
man.
mean, yeah, that's about it.
I mean,
Convicted
not a lot more-
of
there's not
carrying
much
a
else to
concealed
say.
weapon, felony resisting, and opposing an officer and disturbing the peace. 9 months in prison, maximum 5 years.
I'm so
Minimum
glad.
9 months.
Yeah.
Oh, these stupid fucks. This seemed like they were gonna get a fine and a slap on the wrist. What were the? Well, it depends on how good their lawyer is. That's if they get. Go back. What were the charges?
Oh, they're fucked.
They're fucked.
What were the charges?
Carrying a concealed weapon, felony resisting and imposing on an officer,
Wait,
and
so
disturbing the peace.
Carrying a concealed weapon.
They probably had pistols.
But
under their
if
shit.
they have an open carry, then
if you have an open carry, I know the law is kind of convoluted, but I'm pretty sure depending on how it is in the state,
yeah,
if you have an open carry, you can't carry concealed. It has to be on your hip in the open for everyone to see.
A good lawyer will get 2 of those 3 dropped, and it'll be a fine.
Maybe.
No, I mean, realistically, because like you've got felony concealed carry. Well, then you go to the open carry, and these guys probably. I mean, if you own AKs and shit like that, you probably have all of the fucking paperwork realistically.
Well, yeah.
And then you go to resisting arrest. Well, they see on the fucking. They go to the video and they go. They didn't resist. They. Blah blah blah. And what was the third one? That's the one they'll probably get stuck with, like the imposing on an officers or whatever because they were at a police station. That's the one they'll get stuck with.
What's the arraignment say?
It'll be like 3 months of fucking. It'll be like 3 months in prison or a big fine or community service or whatever. It'll definitely get dropped. No question.
Sergeant Carpenter of the Dearborn Police has said both Baker and Vreeland, the morons, have organized other individuals to carry out similar acts and have called the men professional provocateurs.
Yep, sounds about right. Sounds about right.
Carpenter said 7,000 text messages have been investigated between Vreeland and Baker about their protests and taking advantage of Trump phobia by wearing full Muslim robes and carrying AK-47s at demonstrations.
What the fuck?
There's discussions of having a death wish, making funeral arrangements, and embracing the idea of being known as a public enemy.
Goodness gracious.
So they were trying to do sue you by cop.
Yeah. Dumb and Dumber. Look at these 2 fucking idiots.
And
Anybody that's still watching, look at the faces of fucking
Christ.
stupidity.
What's crazy too is like these guys will like get a GoFundMe and get a bunch of money for like really good lawyers.
Probably.
What's going on here?
This is old now.
Fuck it.
No, I mean, okay.
Gone.
Gone.
Do we want to talk about? Let's save the.
We don't need to talk about
Let's
Trump.
backlog.
No.
Yeah, fuck Trump.
Yeah.
It's been so nice that it's been quiet without him.
Just get over it.
I'm not a big
More
fan
Trump
of the whole
bullshit.
deplatforming thing. Like, I'm not in love with it, but like, man, it has been fucking peaceful.
Yeah, it's nice. Like, fuck him.
Yeah.
Let's X out a bunch of these.
Are we talking about this? This is a cat link.
It's up to you if you want to lead the discussion on it. I don't really feel like it.
This is
Let's just get out of it.
This is Christoph Spartacus.
What? I have an idea what you're talking about.
Sparty.
Oh my god.
So,
dude,
Kat.
What up?
Super Bowl.
Yeah, let's just talk about sports and call it a night, boys.
So the Chiefs beat the Bills, and the Packers beat the
Trump's a Russian
Bucks beat the
spy.
the
Packers.
Packers did not win.
So you have predicted the correct Super Bowl from last week or last time we potted.
yeah,
Super Bowl.
So we were on opposite ends. I had Bills.
I had Chiefs Bucks,
And I had Bills Packers.
and you had Bills Packers.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I got you. I should have bet you.
So what do you
Should've
got?
bet some cash.
What do you got now?
Well, here's the thing.
Line is. I think the last time I checked, the line was 3.5.
okay.
So,
Who you got? You can take a money line, or you can take the points if you want it.
Money.
On who? On who?
I got to go with Kansas City
See, this is my problem.
because fuck Tom Brady.
I want Father Time to win.
Is that Tom Brady?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Line is
But-
3 now. Actually, the line's down to 3.
But I'm just afraid that Mahomes is just too damn good.
I'm taking Kansas City -3.
Like
and I won't even. The only thing that would scare me is that it's a push. I could see Kansas City maybe only winning by a field goal in a close game. But
I almost feel like. Excuse me, getting tired here. I almost feel like Mahomes by himself is as good as the entire Buccaneers team, and that's what scares me.
here's the thing.
Here's the thing is.
My football IQ on this game is screaming to me one thing, and it's
Okay.
that what's actually going to matter in this game is the defenses. And
Right.
Kansas City actually has a really fucking stout defense. So does Tampa Bay. But I think the offense, Kansas City's offense, is significantly better than Tampa Bay's defense, whereas I don't think Tampa Bay's defense I don't think Tampa Bay's offense is significantly better than Chiefs defense.
Exactly.
So I think
I agree
this
with
will
that.
probably end
100%.
up being I bet both teams in this game finish in the 20s. Like I think like football numbers tells me like 21-28 would be the final score, but I could see it being like 24-31 or something. Like I think it's going to be like right in that range What's the over under?
Basically, the way I look at
It'll be. I'm not gonna bet the under, but I would not be surprised to see this game end under 55. Which
Hey,
is,
you know what's hype though?
What's up?
What's that?
The Weeknd's at the halftime show.
Oh yeah.
Weekend.
Did you hear that? I heard he dropped $7 million of his own cash to make the halftime show what he envisioned.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah, like he dropped cash.
That will have
Can we
you
watch
so
this?
hyped you'll
Just
be
turn
able to
it
feel your
down.
I
face.
don't know. We
Turn
might
it
get
down.
claimed.
Yeah.
Let's not do that. Hey, but all I was gonna say about this is I agree with you team wise. Like for Brady to win, him and his offense will have to have a better than average game. Their defense is gonna have to play out of their mind, and Mahomes and his defense are gonna have to have a bad game.
Yeah.
Like basically, if both of the teams play the best they can,
The Chiefs will win.
the Chiefs are going to win.
Yeah.
Because
This is the thing, too.
Brady's offense isn't as good as Mahomes, and his defense isn't as good as Mahomes.
If the Chiefs get down by 14, they're still in it.
Yeah.
But if the Chiefs get up by 14, it's over.
Right.
But
Well, but see,
you know what I
it's-
mean? Like
I don't necessarily agree.
The Chiefs have the capacity to score like at will. So they got. I mean, even against the Bills, they were down 9-0 or whatever, 9 or 12 or whatever it was, 12-0. And you didn't know. Like I was watching, I didn't even fucking blink. I was
Yeah,
like,
but-
this game's there's.
So
But
the
this
Bills
game's not even
lost.
But
Yeah.
think
Damn.
It was a good game though.
think if the Chiefs go up by 14 by half, and then their defense gets comfortable.
It doesn't. It won't matter though because if they've got a 14-point lead, the cushion that Mahomes has when he starts running an offense with a lead, it's truly like it's actually like art. Watching him work when he like has nothing, like it's actually art either way. Like if he's down and he's like we have to start scoring now, like no matter what, is like you go what the fuck, and then when he's up,
I feel like that's the
the
same with
offense,
Brady.
the
though.
pace. No, because
Like
I'm
when
not gonna
he's
fucking hate
down.
Brady.
Like when he's down,
Brady's not that good when he's getting blown out. Brady's better at
Brady's
creating
be-
comebacks.
Brady exactly.
But
though.
I'm
That's
saying
what
like if he's down a touchdown, he can come back to win the
Dude,
game.
He was down 3 against the Falcons.
that game doesn't fucking count.
How does it not?
Because they're
The same
fucking
thing can
terrible.
happen.
Because they mismanaged. That was more mismanagement by the offense of the Falcons than it was the defense blowing the game. They had like 2nd and 3 with like 4 minutes left, and they couldn't convert to a third down. If they got the first down, they would have won the game. But I don't know. We'll see. My money. So here, okay,
I think
let's
it's
do
gonna
this.
be a really good
Donnelly,
game.
is he gone? Oh, you can't see. I think he's
No,
gone.
I can't tell.
So you're taking Chiefs money line.
I have the Bucks over everything.
You're taking the Bucks money line.
Yes.
So you think the Bucks can win the game outright? You don't
Yeah.
even want the points.
No.
Okay, I'm taking the Chiefs -3.
All right.
All right. When he gets back, we'll do some of the fun Super Bowl props, and then we'll see who's right next week. But we got to. I mean, all right. Well, since he's gone, and I don't want to do dead air because we only have a couple of viewers left. And
Whoever's
I'm
still
comfy,
with
I'm
us-
comfy as fuck. Well,
whoever's
one of
with
them's
us,
me.
How many people are left?
Five or
Whoever's
3
left,
now. We
thanks
we should
for-
call it. But
Thanks for being
3
here.
and one
We're
of them's
about to
me.
call it. Donnelly, are you
All
ready
right,
to call it?
really quick.
So
we're gonna end
here's
this.
the thing.
Oh, okay.
Here's the thing. Before we end it,
Okay. We haven't.
I am currently so I don't technically own either of these things yet, but I am currently in possession of my 2 favorite Mac Miller records.
Oh.
And here's what I'm thinking, stream. So these records technically belong to Kyle, but
technically they are mine.
They're in my hands right now, and theoretically, I'm thinking, chat, you can let me know. I think I can lock the door and starve Kyle out. I think I can stay in my office long enough until Kyle will starve to death. I'm gonna lock him in the studio. I'll lock
Stop.
myself in here,
No.
and I'll have these records.
I'll stay alive until they're back in my possession, no matter what.
I think I can make
You
it.
could probably break through that glass.
I'll live with no food for 7 days
I think
until
that
I can get those back.
I think I can starve Kyle out
Yeah,
and
we'll
have these
see.
records in my possession.
You could probably punch through that drywall to get that door
I
unlocked
could
if
I
it
could
really
just
came down
punch through
to
the
it.
window, dude.
That's not what we're talking
I think
about.
the drywall would actually be easier.
Whatever. Yo, let's wrap, boys.
All right,
Are we
wait,
done here?
really quick. We'll wrap with this.
Gears has
All right.
slouched into a bum
Yeah, I'm
position.
comfy as fuck. Heads or tails? Super
Tails.
Bowl. Cat. Heads or
Heads.
tails? I'm going tails too.
Heads.
All right. Over under on the national anthem.
On what does that mean?
How long it goes, over or under. You think it's gonna be a long anthem or a short anthem? You want the actual number?
Who's singing it?
Let's see. National anthem, Super Bowl.
Yeah, who's
I'm checking right now.
performing it?
I'm checking right now.
That's gonna have a,
It's I think they got
a say on it. Had they not announced it?
Jasmine Sullivan and Eric Church.
Oh shit.
Short one.
Over.
And then hold on, let me
If
see.
if it's 2 people, over for sure.
Nah, it'll be a short one. They're gonna rip
No.
through it.
Odds 2021. I'm checking right now. Trying not to create too much dead air here.
Well, you're
So
about
it sounds
to.
like Eric Church and Jasmine. So an R&B and a country singer, which is interesting.
Yeah.
So
like Eric Church is just gonna rip through his lines, and then she's gonna take 4 bars per note.
So over for sure.
And the home.
Sullivan's anthem. That fuck, I don't know. Let's just say a minute 30. That seems to be. I don't know exactly what the line's gonna be, but let's just say a minute 30.
All right, so Donley, you got under.
So for record, let's do this. Demi Lovato went minute 55. Or that was the over-under line. Gladys Knight was a minute 47. Pink did 2 minutes, and Luke Bryan did 2:09. So let's just set the line at. Let's say 2 minutes. You think it'll be over or under 2 minutes?
Under.
Under.
Well,
That was like the
I
highest
feel like
out of all
yeah,
those.
I was gonna say I feel like 2 minutes is high.
Set
I'd
it
say
like
under.
150.
I'd say
All right,
minute.
150.
I'd say
150.
minute 45.
You're under 150.
I'm over.
Over 150.
Over for sure.
What do you think, Dodds? Over under 150.
Under 150.
I got
Oof.
over. If it's this is the thing. If it's 2 artists, definitely over.
I'm gonna go over. I'm gonna
For
go
sure
over.
over.
Yeah. Okay. And then what color Gatorade for the Gatorade bath at the end?
Green.
Orange.
I'll go purple.
For sure, orange. It's gonna be orange.
All right. So we got 2.
Wait,
we
it
got
just depends on who wins.
no.
No.
They don't do. That's not true. They don't do. It doesn't have
Orange.
anything to do with the team's colors.
Oh.
All right. So we got 2 tails and a heads. We got 2 overs and an under, and we got orange, purple, and green.
Sure.
And if by green you mean like the yellow green, right?
Like OG Gatorade.
Yeah.
Lemon
yeah,
lime.
Like lemon lime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't
so
it
like
technically yellow?
I think it's
I'm colorblind.
yellow green. All right. Yellow, green, purple, and
Orange.
and orange. 2 overs and an under, 2 tails and a heads, and we'll see you next week after the
See
Super
you
Bowl.
next week.